Hello all, I am Rohan Patwardhan. I work as project manager with Krishagni for OpenSpecimen implementation. Today I will walk you through the introductory video for the overall implementation process. Basically this process has three major tasks high level. First is legacy data migration, which is the most time consuming and rate limiting step in the overall process. Second is configuration and training. Third is IT setup. So we'll go one by one through each, understanding what all things are part of this high level task. We'll start with legacy data migration. Process of migrating data from customers legacy database to OpenSpecimen. That is that by definition we can migrate from Excel, MS Access, any legacy system, all such data we can migrate into OpenSpecimen. For this, we will perform two rounds of migration. We provide you with one test environment and one production environment. So at the beginning of project, we will start with one first round of migration. The purpose of this activity is to fine tune and finalize the ETL scripts that will be utilized to migrate data from legacy system to OpenSpecimen. And second round of migration is just before go live, when all your ETL scripts are finalized, all your issues with the legacy data are fixed. So we'll take a fresh export and go live with the second round of migration. Now there are around 6 steps for this legacy data migration process. So first is receive legacy data from customer. So this is where ball starts rolling. We will map your legacy fields to OpenSpecimen fields. Based on our understanding, we will write ETL scripts, migrate data to OpenSpecimen test server. So with this migrated data, we will ask you to review all the data. Once you come up with some feedback that these needs to be migrated, these are errors, these needs to be fixed in the system, this needs to be fixed in the ETL scripts. So after all such feedback loop, we will finalize the ETL scripts. At the same time, we will ask you to fix any issues in your data at the source. Once this is done, we will move towards the go live. We will re-migrate all the data on your production server with a fresh export. So this is the overall data migration process. Now we expect you to do three primary activities. First is review data mapping and all the migrated data. So you have to be proactive and raise as many issues as possible. Secondly, we set up weekly sessions with you. So you have to come up on the calls, attend the calls. We will discuss on the progress. Obviously, if there are any issues raised from client side or from Krishagni side, we will work on that. Simultaneously, we expect you to provide consensus decisions. So any changes or coming back to the decisions, that is very time consuming and costly affair. So we expect you to take some decisions that are accepted organization wide. Regarding data validation, now if we have migrated all the data, Krishagni team will perform the basic validation and produce test results. So after your mapping of legacy data, we develop some test cases for you. We will provide a report of how executing these test cases. Simultaneously, we will also provide you with the count matching, that is number of participants in legacy data versus number of participants in OpenSpecimen. These many were successful, these many were issues. So whatever error logs, all such things will be provided in the data validation. Simultaneously, it is your responsibility to perform validation on your own as well. We will expect you to provide sign off before moving it to production. The next important part is configuration and training. It goes hand in hand with the legacy data migration. So basically, we perform around 7 to 8 web-based sessions in the span of 3 to 4 weeks. So the first part is to understand and then train. So we use the train the trainer model for this. Uh, Within the web sessions, we address some small group of people like 3 members, 4 members, some restricted number of people. and then we train them on how to utilize OpenSpecimen first and how to configure the OpenSpecimen as well going forward. So these are the high level steps within training and configuration. We start with a kickoff call to understand your requirements. Based on your requirements, we will design screens and workflows for you. After then we will ask you to review, and based on your feedback, we will do some fine tuning, whatever is required. The next important part is about configuring freezers and if you have any liquid nitrogen storages, ambient storages. So in short, the container structure. We will also configure reports. So majority of the biobanks use some weekly reports, monthly reports, yearly reports, or for the internal purpose some assessment reports. So all such reports can be configured in the system. Thereafter we start with the train the trainer web sessions. So this overall process is two directional. So we expect your inputs as well as we work on from our side in this overall process. And the next and last and most important part is about IT setup. So as you can imagine, IT setup is the backbone of everything. We start with the VPN access, and VM setup is the responsibility of client if it is on-premise implementation. If it is AWS hosted from Krishagni team, then we will take care of that. So once we receive VPN access from your side, we will do test server deployment. After test server deployment, obviously we'll proceed with SSL certificate. We also support single sign-on based integration. We support SAML, LDAP, and any ID providers for that matter. So after that, we will start with integration. Uh, Firstly, printer setup. If you need any additional integrations, we can also work on that part. Lastly, we will create the prod server deployment. This typically happens when the data migration has made some progress and we are near sign off from the test server. Simultaneously, we expect configuration and training in such a way that all your fine tuning and everything is now configured. So based on that, we will decide the date of prod server deployment, and that is the major part about IT setup. Thereafter, about documentation to track this overall process, we provide you with these five types of documentation. So first part is project plan. So all your stepwise process is mentioned on the project plan along with the tentative dates. All your issues that you explain during configuration training or you come across during validation of data migration, all such issues will be documented on issue tracker. We consider issue tracker as source of truth for all the issues and overall progress. We'll provide you with a field mapping sheet. This is basically for verifying that all your legacy fields are migrated into OpenSpecimen. The next important part, as I told earlier, that is the validation report that you will be receiving as test results from OpenSpecimen. For all your IT requirements, we have specific forms. So just to give you example, if we want to do single sign-on setup, then we will have a predefined form for SAML, that is SAML, and for LDAP. So all the requirements will be captured with these forms, and this is how we will progress. So this is the high level progress. This is the high level process of implementation. All three high level tasks, that is IT setup, data migration, as well as configuration training, they go hand in hand, and the project team from Krishagni will make sure that it is in sync with each other. Thank you.